Good afternoon. On average, every year, 32,514 people die from gun violence. Most of us around the country are constantly on the lookout for strange behavior to avoid being a victim of gun violence. I located my information from the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, Smart Gun Laws, and Mental Illness and Gun Ownership. The government should require a waiting period and a recent psychoanalysis before issuing a firearm to a civilian to deter gun violence. According to Smart Gun Laws, the goal of a waiting period is to provide law enforcement with sufficient time to complete a thorough background check and to provide a cooling off period to guard from impulsive acts. However, the federal government does not require a waiting period and allows a firearm to be delivered even if the background check has not been completed yet. Over 3,000 ineligible persons are given firearms through a default provision each year. It takes 25 days on average to determine that an illegal purchaser is ineligible to obtain a firearm. Suicides can also be deterred by a waiting period. Suicides are usually acts of impulsiveness, and 90% of people who consider or live through suicides do not attempt again. According to the American Journal of Public Health, states that require or have a waiting period law have significantly lower suicide rates. And in December of 2011, 74% of Americans supported a waiting law. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Many recent tragic events such as Sandy Hook Elementary, the Colorado movie theater, and Virginia Tech shooting all have a common element. They were all victims of mentally ill shooters who used large capacity firearms to kill or hurt as many people as possible. These shooters had a history of isolation, emotional abuse, and bullying. When applying for a gun permit, the question, have you ever been declared incompetent or involuntarily committed to a mental institution arises. Unfortunately, state authorities cannot verify this information was answered truthfully. It is estimated that 3 million living Americans have been involuntarily committed to a mental institution. The NICS database, which is a system that is used to perform background checks, contains about 90,000 of these individuals. In order to ensure that a person's accurate mental state is recently evaluated, the individual must have a psychoanalysis done by a professional recently. Over 108,000 people in America are shot in murders, assaults, suicides, and unintentional shootings. Unfortunately, we cannot stop gun violence, but we can certainly try. By taking additional steps, like requiring a waiting period and a recent psychoanalysis, the federal government can deter thousands of unnecessary deaths each year. Would you vote for additional gun laws to protect you and your community?